examples of what I think may be a glimpse of what the future could look like and some of the examples that we've done so far. Any questions? I'll leave questions to the end. This is a campaign that we launched at BeautyCon this year. Oops. So this is a campaign that we launched at BeautyCon this year. And what we try and do at KIC is, we think about chat as using chat to connect to people, places, and things. So hopefully this will work. So what you can see, there's actually music to this. So Lauren, can you play tune? Oh, this is bad.
Where's Plaid stand?
So as you can see here, we're using codes to, again, what I said before was how do we use chat to connect to people, places, and things. So the utility here is skipping the line. Scanning a code, skip the line, to then partake in a beauty experience. But what that does, as soon as you scan the code, you've already got the user engaged in the chat experience. And so that gives you an opportunity then to re-engage them after the event and continue to either run campaigns or educate users around beauty and so forth. That's one way. Another campaign that we ran massively, this is a question for everyone. We did a campaign for the release of the Ninja Turtle, and there were 4 bots that were connected together. So, what Ninja Turtle do you think received the most total number of messages? Like 24 million messages in 3 weeks. Yeah, that's partly because that was the first bot that people were talking to, and Leonardo was the last one. So it's actually not an indication of what people wanted to talk to. But it's pretty cool. That's huge. But for me, that's not enough. But what I would have liked to see as a killer chat experience was talk to Mikey on the Echo Dot. So how do we continue conversations from multiple devices, from multiple places, that provide a killer chat experience that actually starts to think about how we can change people's lives, make an impact. So the experience could have started with talking to a team in their bedroom, talking to Mikey on their Echo Dot, and then they go into KIC, and we have a gamification element on KIC where they can meet friends and make new friends. And then, I don't know, full string here, then, you can potentially then talk and have a conversation with a Mikey doll. So they're the type of experience I think we need to start thinking about to actually make an impact here in the US. So it goes back to my early statement. How can we say it's 2016 is the year of the bot when there are no killer chat experiences? That is comparable to the Pokemon Go moment. I think that's what we need to start to focus on, is to now start to think about going beyond all the tech, the NLP, and all of these type of things, to start to focus on the user experience, and then to start to define what it is in the US that will create that Pokemon Go moment that everyone will now start to think about chat as part of their everyday life. Now the talk monetization. Now we get to monetization. Assuming we have a killer chat experience, the first thing we need to start to think about are the business objectives that we're trying to achieve with brands, in this case, for a consumer platform, brands and publishers. And the other speakers later will talk a little bit more about this, but here is some high-level objectives that I think when we start talking to brands and publishers, this is what we start to hear. everyone wants awareness and engage with users. A lot of, because we have a teen audience, they want to reach new audiences like teens on Kick. And they're one of the big asks that we get. And then for some of the brands, it's about efficiency, utility. And I think the common theme that we're seeing now is they also want to build communities. They don't want to just engage with users, but they want to create a place where there's community building aspects where people can make new friends within a bot experience. And of course, for both brands and publishers, they want to monetize, and the way they're thinking about it at the moment is to sell goods and services, if you're a brand, or if you're a publisher, to sell advertising. So as platforms, this is how we're starting to think about monetization. It's still very early for us. Our primary focus is in building sticky experiences with our user base. And we're starting to do, as you can see, across all the other platforms, including Facebook and Slack, starting to then look at, in our case, we're looking at advertising as a potential revenue stream where we could insert either sponsored messages or integrated brand experiences within a message stream that actually where users don't actually know that they're actually seeing an ad. And Alison can talk a little bit more about that. So the way that we think about that is we potentially do a revenue split with the publisher and us. So we provide the audience and they deliver the engagement, and so there's a revenue split with the advertising. Payments, again, it's pretty early at the moment, but I presume it'll be a percentage of revenue. Affiliate fees, revenue for the developers, and then I think potentially you'll see platforms either charging for reach or charging for users. And that's how the platforms will start to make money. And then I think I don't know too much about this, but this is more the subscription model for like the likes of Slack, where it's revenue for the platform and then also cost to the user. So we're transferring that cost to the user. Some of the challenges that you can start to think about as the rest of the speakers start talking, is measuring ROI. How do we start to measure ROI when we haven't got the engagement there? And like three things I think we need is engagement, audience volume, and then what's the method of value exchange that we're going to measure that ROI on. The other challenge I think is platforms are building tools to actually engage with our users. And we're not really we're thinking about monetization, but if we don't build sticky experiences right now, there will be no monetization. And so the focus for us is really to try and build tools that engage with users. And then experiment, and we're starting to now experiment with different monetization models. The other challenge I think as well is, we've got paid discovery or paid reach. You can pay for chatters, so we've got some bots on the platform that have reached a million users. Some have done it organically, some have done it, very few have done it organically, and we've got a bot, a promotion slot that allows users or allows brands to actually generate users at about 20,000 per day. So, but how do we now start to look at other unpaid discovery mechanisms that allow brands and agencies and publishers to actually be rewarded with chatters as part of the normal organic discovery? And then the other one that we talked about with Esther last night is also, developers having enough runway to actually, if we look at the cycle where we're at today, to actually last, maybe it's a year or a year and a half time before we start to monetize bots today. So developers need to have enough runway to actually weather the storm until then. So, any questions on that? I know it was a lot. Yeah.
For the BeautyCon Kick thing, was that something that you guys? Sorry, at BeautyCon, the users, did you guys recognize that a lot of the consumers that were there were already Kick users, or was part of the promotion to get them on Kick to use the bot?
It's a good question. It wasn't really to get, the objective wasn't, when we do things like this, our objective is not to get new users. Our objective is actually to demonstrate this is how to use chat. It's to try and demonstrate, okay, if we take that concept of Chat connects is used to connect to people, places, and things. This is how you would do it, and this is so what we did is look at the user behavior at an event and saw how do we tap in, how do we use chat to tap into that user behavior so it makes sense and provides utility, and also provide some sort of connection with the brand and also connections with other people as well. So you could potentially use that experience to also, if I've signed up, if there's someone else, because what you can do as soon as you've signed up, and as you know, with chat you can start to personalize and start to profile users. I can use that data to actually connect that individual that signed up to someone else maybe from that same area or from different interests. So it wasn't to actually generate downloads, but it was actually to generate, to demonstrate this is what it could look like.
Do people use it?
Yeah, they did. It was a huge success. I mean, obviously we had a couple of hiccups with Wi-Fi and logistics, but essentially that everyone gets really, really excited. You can see the faces. I mean, it went really fast. You can see the faces. We also did this in Burger King as well, and we rewarded users with a cookie after they filled out a survey. They were so stoked. They were laughing their heads off. We couldn't believe. I scanned the code, answered a couple of questions to get a free cookie. Like simple things, it doesn't take much. It's about simplicity.
We should have a session on cookies and bots.
So do you think that the Pokemon Go bot experience is going to be a game or something else?
No, it could be, but I don't think it will be. I think it'll be something that is very simple, that no one's thought about, and then that'll be the Pokemon Go moment for lots. That can then scale and affect everyone's life.
Yeah, awesome. You should mention that you guys did a coffee bot at Talkabot that was super cool, similar to that, but
You mentioned, go ahead.
I just want to say, I was super dubious about it. I was like, oh yeah, right, order your coffee over Kit, great. Scan the Kit code, this is going to be super lame. And it was super awesome, super easy. You could order your coffee from your seat at the conference, and it was waiting for you. It remembered what you ordered previously, so you could just say, I want another espresso, and it was ready for you, waiting at the coffee bar. It was easy as hell to use and fun. And people kept saying, wow, not only did I get my coffee delivered to me by a bot, but it pitched me a screenplay too. It was hilarious. So it was a really, really good experience. I think showed how this kind of thing could actually manifest in Starbucks across the country or whatever. It was really cool.
Yeah. One thing you forgot to mention, it had an Australian accent as well. The barista. Any other questions before we break to the next speakers?
Could you say
shortest question ever for the trouble you just went to give me the microphone. Could you say a little bit about the demographics of Kik users?
Yeah, so we're teens, predominantly 14 or 13 to 18 is 40%. The rest is broken down in between 18 to 24, which is 35%, and the rest between 24 to 30. After 30, it drops off. But we don't really have many users over 30. That's right. Except for the people in this room, I hope. And so really one of the advantages of having a teen audience is they are pretty tech savvy, they're really highly engaged, and it's, if we start with this, I mean, it is part of our plan to actually engage with a teen audience, so then as they get older, it starts to build daily habits. But really, I think the benefit there is that they're early adopters to technology. They're pretty savvy, they're very quick, but they're also very quick to discount shitty bot experiences as well. So they can enter into an experience, and if it doesn't engage, they will leave the bot straight away. So they can switch between bots very quickly.
I think next time we should have a teen panel here.
yeah.
Which panel?
A team panel.
The team panel, yes. what, being teens of it?
What percentage of like 13 to 21-year-olds use kick? It's some huge number.
40%
40% of 13 to 21-year-olds use
In
kick.
the US.
in the US.
Are people just aging out too? I mean, as they age, or do they continue to use the application as they age?
I think we started to see that before. Now it's because they're using, when Kick is a private message, you don't need phone number, and also that's one of the benefits that we started to rise. And, I think we're starting to now look at how do we retain them beyond the 18 to 24. So, but our primary focus is 13 to 18, or 13 to 24.
I actually had another question. Anyway, when it comes to selling through the brands and agencies, are most of the deals you've done so far, are they like paid deals, or is it like, we're just going to try this out and see what happens kind of things? Like, are people paying for this, or is it still very much experimental?
I think it's a combination of both. There are some brands like you see with the theatres or the movie. They're the type of, it's a combination of both. Some are experimental, and some it's paid. In the way that they pay on Kick is they pay for chatters. We've also got emojis that click to bots. We've got sticker campaigns, and we've also got gifts that click to bots as well. So when they do a media buy on Kick, they're essentially buying a whole bunch of different experiences that drive users or drive traffic to bots. But we don't actually charge for the bots themselves. We rely on the developers here to develop the bots.
So it's just wrapped up in the media spend?
Correct.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Okay, I'll leave for the next. So, I'm going to introduce Kathy Butler. We've been working together on a couple of projects. Kathy Butler's going to talk really about, from an agency perspective, the monetization of business and bots from that